And we're back.
Yes, we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chris Sees the Internet. My name is KILLcRey. My co-host OG Hip Hop Eddie is with me tonight. This is the last show of the season. We've had an amazing season. Shout out to PlatformCollection and the entire team.
Thank you.
We're going to be taking a quick break, just about a month. I'm going to be in the studio recording a record, recording multiple records with the Invisible Ponchos. Shout out to Gene Flo. But guys, say this is your first time, which is crazy if this is your first time tuning into this show.
Super
you're missing
crazy.
It. You're missing it, especially if you're an independent or underground hip hop artist. Man, this is the home for you. Eddie and I like to say that we've built a underground college with volumes of episodes packed with a bunch of information from hardworking artists. And tonight is just like that, like we always do about this time. But it's very special to us because this is a San Diego show, an all San Diego show. We are from San Diego. We're not from LA, as a lot of people think. Shout out to LA, though. Shout out to the IE. Sometimes people think we're from the IE. We're not. We're based out of San Diego, and we're ending this season with an all San Diego episode. The homie RM, the poet, an amazing young artist, an artist to watch, one of the hottest artists coming out of San Diego right now, who's been putting in a lot of work. We met him out on tour. We took him out on his first tour, on the Noah James tour. And ever since then, we've watched him blossom into this artist that he is today. Very skilled. He's a producer. He's a songwriter. He's a workout fanatic. He's a Bruce Lee fan. Man, and he's got one of the dopest voices and cadences I've heard in a while. He's a throwback artist.
Right.
He's a future artist. He mixes it all in, man. And he's representing northern San Diego, North County, San Diego. In case you didn't know, there's two parts of San Diego. Well, there's multiple parts of San Diego, but there's two really big scenes, one in the southern part of San Diego and one in the northern part of San Diego. And he's representing North County, San Diego, and he's going to be in the house. But it doesn't stop there
at all.
Eddie went above and beyond for this San Diego end of the season episode. So since we have one of the newer names coming out of San Diego in RM the Poet, we decided to bring you an OG, long overdue, one of the biggest OGs to ever come out of San Diego, Dannu from the legendary Visionaries. Yes, Dannu is from San Diego, in case you didn't know that. I know he, like us, get mixed up a lot of times from being from LA. We are not from LA.
Nope.
Dannu is not from LA. Dannu is from San Diego. And he's going to be here talking to us, man. Super excited about that. Legendary artist who's made legendary records. And what I'm excited about is there's rumblings that he's making new music. And that's so dope.
Don't miss this interview.
Don't miss this interview. Call a friend. Share this with people. Let them know Dannu is going to be coming up on Chris Sees the Internet. And hopefully we get it right and it won't be his last time here.
At all.
But we're looking forward to that. Again, if this is your first time tuning in, we do these really cool deep dives with these artists. We try to keep it fresh. We know that there are a lot of interview and podcast form shows out there. So we try not to do what any of those shows do. We're not so much interested in the basics of the journey in hip hop.
Right.
We are more concerned with the layers, the emotional layers, the spiritual layers, and everything in between. We like to get into the creative minds so that if you're a young artist or an artist who's just starting out, we're trying to give you something to build on. And it's really dope, man. All season we've had great artists come on and share their experiences. And we're so grateful to have shared this season with the artists that we've had on. Shout out to everybody who's come on and shared their time. Shout out to our team over at PlatformCollection. Again, if this is your first time tuning in, there's a bunch of shows on the podcast network, as well as audio podcasts we have out there, including the Parker Edison Project. We have V to Kills with the podcast about people. And right here on our YouTube, you can catch The Heartful Truth hosted by Melly, 7 Octobers, as well as the juggernaut that is Beat Block TV, all producer radio, hosted by Gene Flow, produced by OG Hip Hop Eddie. By the way, he produces all the shows. So if you need to get on the shows, you need to talk to my dude here.
Hit me up.
Hit him up. But man, we're ending a season, man. How do you feel?
Feel good, man. Definitely. When we ended the last season, the other one, this has been good because when we were doing the other podcast, it was almost no season and it was just long.
It just went.
It just went.
You're talking about Crappy Awesome
podcast,
which you can still catch here on PlatformCollection. We have some of the old episodes. Just scroll down and you can check out some of the Crappy Awesome episodes. Again, we went 300 some episodes nonstop. Interviewing some of the who's who of independent underground hip hop. We had major label artists on there, and that's an audio form too.
Yes,
because the video portion of Crappy Awesome only goes back so far, but the audio version goes back
way farther,
years now, right? Over 10 years.
Yeah. Yes. I would say yes.
Yeah, about 10 years.
Yes.
It goes back. So there's tons of podcasts, man. And we've talked to everybody you can think of. Man. So, and you can still catch that on Spotify, Apple Podcast, anywhere audio podcasts are found. Search the Crappy Awesome Podcast. And that's me and Eddie's humble beginnings. But this is where we're at now. We've done a full season now. And I mean, what do you think?
It's always good to take that little, 1 month break, or, I know we've done at least 2 months in the past as well. It just kind of refreshes you, just kind of gets you going to plan out new topics, new ideas, new things. And it just kind of refreshes you and takes you out of, this that we're doing now to you know what?
What's the next level?
Yeah, what we got to do now? Do we need to change this? How do we present it?
How do we improve it?
Do we stop something? Because we have stopped a lot of things.
Yeah.
And we've started new things too. So that it gives us that time to sit down, maybe write things down and say, you know what, this worked, this didn't work, or actually all of it worked. Let's just, flare it up a little more. So, we can just change it. So
I agree. And guys, we take it that serious for you guys. It's important that we give you guys something of value. Again, we don't want to just give you the regular show.
Right.
We want to constantly be upgrading the show. We want to constantly be pushing the effort to make this show better and all the shows on the network better. So again, this will be the last show of the episode, and we're ending it with a all San Diego episode.
Beautiful.
Dude, did you still do people still confuse you for living in LA?
Let me
like when we're at events and stuff?
Yes. They think, how long is that drive back home?
Right.
That's that question that they ask but I'm here. I'm down the street, but yeah, even when we're late, where do you guys live? You guys live downtown, or you guys live in, Boyle Heights, or somewhere in that's areas where you're like, no, we live in San Diego. What? I mean, it's always like a big surprise.
Yeah, I got Long Beach the other day. Somebody was like, "Oh, don't you live over by Tumex in Long Beach?" And I was just like, "Nah, I mean, we're like 2 hours away from Tumex. Eddie and I are in the southern part of San Diego, really the central part of San Diego, more so." And
I would get the IE.
Yeah,
Riverside.
We get the IE. We've gotten Riverside, LA. But it is because, I mean, to be quite frank, we're up there a lot. A lot of the artists that we work with are out of LA, out of the IE. And a lot of our friends are up there. I mean, we've been doing this for a very long time. I like to think of that we were some of the first artists in San Diego to really move out of the city of San Diego and really try to take our sound and our music abroad to other scenes. And that I think I credit that a little bit to our longevity. Yeah. You think so?
100. Yes. That this is, in this entertainment business, I think this game or this career it's a long run, like just someone getting their like being a lawyer. Like you're just not going to be a lawyer for 2-3 years. You got to put in the studies, you got to learn the topics, you got to learn the laws, and then practice, the job and keep going. Same thing in this artist world. You got to learn the game, learn the tricks, learn the business, learn the merch, learn the touring. And once that even gets there, then you just keep going, and then this is a long road, man.
Yeah, and our philosophy has always been we never wanted to just be from the block.
Right. No.
I love the block. I love my city. That isn't where we wanted to just stay. I wanted to take the San Diego flag to other cities and let people know what we had going on in San Diego and how dope it was, and how many dope artists come out of San Diego. Today's show being an example of that.
Right.
We're bringing you two dope artists out of San Diego, two very different sounding artists. It's a very eclectic sound here. And we have just an amazing scene of artists here in San Diego. But if there's ever a criticism about the city, is that San Diego artists rarely leave San Diego.
Yes.
And we just kind of figured that out very early on, that one of the keys to our success was going to be whether or not we could perform and have success in other venues, in other cities, in other scenes, where they didn't know us, where we had to start from scratch every time we went to one of those places. And we've been doing that now for the last 20 years. Right?
Yes.
I mean, we started when we were kids.
Yeah.
So for the last 20 years, we've been moving around from scene to scene, i.e., Ventura, Oxnard, San Francisco, Oakland. We even went to Arizona, Texas, Mexico, Hawaii. It was very important for us to spread the gospel of our scene to other places, and in doing that, we've made some really dope relationships with a lot of the artists that you've seen on this show. And it just so happens that a lot of those artists are out of the LA area and the IE, just because that's the people that we vibed with. There wasn't really a particular reason why that happened or how that happened. It just kind of happened like that. And that brings us to here now. Again, Eddie and I have been interviewing people collectively for a very long time. And that kind of sprung out of the idea, or rather the feeling that, we're just curious people. If you ever got to just sit in a conversation, in a private conversation with me or Eddie, or just watch a conversation with me or Eddie and our friends and the people that we have in our circle, the Platform Collection team, you would hear that most of the time we're just curious about things, and we're constantly trying to break down the layers of topics and subjects and art. And doing a show like this has helped us do that in front of y'all. And hopefully you guys are able to get some value out of that. Maybe we're asking the questions that you guys always wanted to know from these artists that we bring on the show. And if we're not doing that, please reach out to us. If you're like, hey man, ask artists more about, this topic or that topic, let us know. I guarantee you what the answer is not going to be no. We're going to listen to what you have to say. We put on this show for y'all.
Right.
So if you guys have some opinions on it, or if you guys want to see us do more of something or less of something, the best way to go about that is just to drop us a message. And trust me, you will be pleasantly surprised that you're going to most likely get an answer. I mean, we've had people ask us to be on the show, and it doesn't necessarily work like that.
Right.
Again, there's a certain level of artists that we bring on the show, and there's a certain type of artist we bring on this show. And there are artists who are putting in work, who have a catalog, because here's the thing I want you guys to think about, especially if you're thinking about reaching out to us and trying to see how you can get on the show. You can pretty much answer that question for yourself. Do I have a story, and do I have content that if Chris and Eddie send their audience to me, that audience could stay there for a while and really learn and soak in music, not just soak in one album and then that's all you have, or one song, or maybe you don't post a lot on your Instagram or your socials, so they're not really there to interact. It would be pointless for us to send them to you, because that kind of lets our fan base down, our supporters down. And that's not what we want to do.
And it could be hurtful for you.
Yeah, it definitely can be hurtful for the artist, I think, if you want to come on this show too early.
Right.
Build up. Again, we've known RM for, 3 years, maybe 4? Maybe longer.
I think about 5, 6 years.
Maybe 5 or 6 years. This is his first time on the show today, but he's earned his way onto this show.
Yes.
And he made it so that we went and asked him to come on this show. He didn't have to ask because he understood if I just do the work, eventually stuff like this will just come.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's my best advice to y'all is just do the work. And trust me, mine and Eddie's job is to notice the work. So if you're putting the work out in any of the scenes that we're in, if you're ending up on show flyers, if you're working with artists we know, if you're just putting out great content, we're going to find out about it and we're going to bring you on the show.
Yes, definitely.
We want to shine a light on people who are working hard. And if that is you, we're going to find you. Just trust in that. And you won't have anything to worry about. But other than that, man, it's our last show of the season. How are you feeling?
Feeling good, man.
How's life in general?
Life is good, man. I can't complain. Things are going, I'm structuring my life in a better way. It's a process. I mean, at first, of course, when I'm like, I'm going to structure my life, and by the next day, it doesn't just like change like
overnight.
that. Yeah. So that's the biggest frustration on my part, but
because you want it to happen faster,
right? Yes.
Oh, I got you.
I want it to come faster, but
I imagine that having done this as long as you've done it now, you definitely understand the process.
Yes.
Right.
That's the process.
Yeah. That it just takes time.
Oh, I fight it, but yes, I understand the process.
Yes. I agree, man. I've been dealing with health stuff over the last couple weeks. I shared a little bit about it on a previous show. I got diagnosed with some kidney stones. I might have ulcerative colitis, bunch of stuff. Because of, in my opinion, just bad management of stress. It's only recently that I feel like I've gotten more in control of that. But that unfortunately doesn't erase the damage that you do to your body.
Right.
And I've definitely done some damage to my body, but I'm getting it under control. Eddie and I have that 5K coming up that we'll talk to you guys about a little bit later. Yeah, dude, we're running. Get your running shoes. Eddie, do you have running shoes?
I'm wearing them right now.
What? Okay. All right. Well, he has his running shoes.
Yeah.
I can attest for it.
I just got to clean them.
Right. The running shoes that have probably never been run in. Yeah, we're going to be doing some health stuff coming up, and I'm excited for that. But other than that, yeah, man, it's been a great season for me. I really enjoy doing this show for y'all. It's one of the funnest things I do.
Likewise, man.
And we do a lot of fun things. We do a lot of cool things. I'm a member of the Invisible Ponchos, as some of you guys might know. I'm a solo artist in my own right. But doing this show and doing podcast in general is something that we at Platform Collection jumped into very early. We were doing podcasting before people really knew what it was. I remember on Crappy Awesome, the show that we did previous to this, which again, you can find anywhere audio podcasts are found. And there's some video versions here on Platform Collection if you just scroll down. But we were doing podcasting when we still had to explain what a podcast was.
Right.
When we booked our artists. Shout out to all those artists who took the risk, by the way. Because I don't even think they knew what they were getting into.
And we got some good ones early.
We got some really cool ones early.
That was the beauty of it.
I mean, we have people who have Netflix shows.
Yes.
That's the crazy part. We've booked people on Crappy Awesome who now have their own Netflix shows and stuff. We booked people on Crappy Awesome who ended up talking at the White House.
Yep.
Think about that. And I'm not even going to tell you who that is. You go search it. You can find it anywhere audio podcasts are found. Search the Crappy Awesome podcast and just scroll down. There's 300 some episodes. We've watched people grow up on our podcasts. We gave the first podcast ever to certain people. Esteban Oriel, right? It was his first podcast ever. He was with Crappy Awesome. Reverie, Self-Provoked.
Gavlin.
Man, the Far Side.
I was just thinking
They
about
ended
that.
up starting their own podcast. We did a lot of really, really cool things. This journey has been amazing. As much as I am an MC and a rapper, as much as Eddie is a manager and a producer, podcasting has also been a big part of our life. It's probably the second half of who we are.
Yes.
And like I said, we've been in podcasting from the very start. I remember when we first started podcasting, the only ones I really knew of were Rogan, and I think he was still just doing it on his like computer webcam. I don't think they even had microphones yet when we started. And there was another one called The Nerdist by this dude named Chris Hardwick. And I don't think it's called The Nerdist anymore, but that was really the only podcast I knew. I knew of Adam Carolla. He wasn't even doing podcast form yet. He was still doing like radio. And we just kind of jumped into it because of curiosity, really. We just wanted to talk to these artists. We wanted to delve into their minds. At that time, probably more self-serving than anything. We were just trying to find out information for ourselves.
Yes, and what a great way to do it.
What a great way to do it. Yeah, I mean, that was the sham of it all, though, is that mostly we just wanted to know the information for ourselves, and then we just decided to share that information. But now, I've definitely grown to love the value of podcasting. It's something that's near and dear to my heart. We take it very serious over at Platform Collection. And since then, to be able to give birth to a bunch of other podcasts hosted by a bunch of other amazing creatives has been one of the pleasures of this journey and of my life, for sure. It's not just been about me having my own podcast. It's about helping other people start their own podcast.
Right.
In fact, the homie who started off hosting with us, Mr. Arash, he went on to become a podcast juggernaut in the Burning Man world. So one day we'll tell the whole story.
Yes.
And we'll have all the players. But we have a direct connection to Burning Man, like the legendary Burning Man, where they go out into the desert and it's a huge event where they build a city out there. The Burning Man podcast is hosted by Arash, Mr. Arash, who used to host Scrappy Awesome. And it's been amazing to watch all these different things come out of this podcast.
Right.
And I like to think we've inspired some people along the way as well. And we've heard that enough times,
Definitely
I can definitely say it. That we've inspired a lot of people to start their own podcast, and hell, me and Eddie are still doing that. In fact, just last week we tried to convince Zeno Loa to start a podcast. Hopefully, he will do that.
Yes.
But yeah, dude, if you're thinking about starting a podcast, you can always hit us up. You got a good idea? We're always taking pitches on podcasts, by the way.
Of course.
If you're an artist and you got a good pitch on a podcast, it's got to be something different than we're already doing, by the way. So whether it's a different type of topic or you guys have a different way of recording podcast or whatever it may be, we're always taking a good pitch over at Platform Collection. So don't be afraid to share us your podcast. If you do a podcast, share it with us.
Please.
We're always looking for dope talent to bring on the team. But nonetheless, this is an amazing show today. Again, like I said, an all San Diego podcast with a veteran MC like Dannu 619 and RM the Poet. You can follow both those names on Instagram. Dannu, obviously from the legendary Visionaries, RM the Poet, representing San Diego's new school and new voices. So, man, we should jump into this interview. We got RM the Poet coming up first.
Yep.
Again, if you don't know RM the Poet, please get to know him through this interview and then support him, man. Support all these artists.
Please.
This is what's happening, man. We're asking them to come on the show to share some knowledge with y'all. And they say yes. And they're happy to do it. And they know they're coming on to give some value to artists that might be watching this,
right,
or just supporters and lovers of underground hip hop. They're coming on for y'all. So please show them some love, follow them, buy their merch, listen to their music, all that good stuff. Thumbs up, likes, hearts.
Tell a friend,
Man. But first up to bat, our friend, hopefully he'll be your friend after this, none other than RM the poet.
Yeah, welcome, man. Welcome.
Dude, thank you for coming on the show, bro. Well, long time overdue, I think. You've been on our list for a minute. I'm glad we can finally get this working. First of all, dude, I want to give you some flowers. I see you out there working hard. At least from the Platform Collection team, you got a special place in our hearts because I feel like we've watched you grow from the beginnings and stuff, and seen you out on your first tour. We've seen you out there really, really growing as an artist, man. So I just want to let you know we're watching and we love everything we're seeing, man. And thank you for spending some time with us today.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that shit. No doubt, no doubt. Always, always.
Yo, man. So let's jump right into this. Let's jump right into this because I want the audience to get to know you. I want them to get a little bit of your background. So let them know where you're from, what you represent, and how long you've been doing this.
All right. My name is RM the Poet. I'm from Vista, California. It's North County, San Diego. I'm always representing. And yeah, just all about that real shit, hip hop, you know, spit it from the soul, from the heart, and kind of leave it all on the microphone. You know what I mean? Like that type of shit, you know?
Yo, so talk to us a little bit about how you got started, man. What brought you to? Because you're a producer as well, accomplished producer as well. Your music's been featured on Platform Collection before, on Beat Block TV. So let us know how you got into like being an MC, and was that like the first thing you started out doing? What led you to the root of hip hop?
Basically, like I've been recording music probably since like I was like a junior or senior in high school, like recording like rapping and shit. But at first I just wanted to be a producer. When I was in 9th grade, I worked on the weekends for like fucking like a year or some shit, flipping signs. When I was in like 9th grade, and I bought my my first MPC, which is the MPC 1000, and just wanted to be a producer. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna try to rap too. And so kind of wrote my first rap in like 9th grade, and kind of like ignored it, and then like really stopped thinking about rap and wanted to be like making beats, you know. And then some shit and all this different shit, and then wanted to go play football and all that shit in high school. So I was focusing on like athletics and shit. And then back like later on in high school, I started like be like, oh, you know what, I want to like rap. And so I started rapping, and then I was fucking shitty, you know, fucking trash when I first started, you know. But eventually got better, and then took it more serious, probably like actually giving out CDs to more than giving more CDs to like more than just me and my homies or whatever, giving it like CDs out and shit, like in 2011, 12, around that. And then I kind of stopped for a little bit as well because I had to help my grandparents out a lot. So you know, my grandma had cancer for a little bit, so I had to stop for a little bit, and then I got back to it in like 2016, and then yeah, just been nonstop since then. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, man. What was because you wanted to be a producer, and I want to talk to you about the athletics soon too, because I know that's still a part of you. I see you put it out as in your branding. I said, you know, being healthy and staying in shape is like one of the things that you're constantly preaching and throwing out there. But I want to know what kind of brought you to the music more. Was there early influences in the family? Are there other people that are musical in the family? Like, how did that come about?
Oh yeah, my grandpa on my mom's side used to always be singing and playing the guitar and shit like that. While I was growing up, he does like rock shit, you know, like that type of shit, like a lot of guitar playing and shit like that, singing and shit, a bunch of different instruments my grandpa used to play. my uncle rapped as well on my mom's side while I was a kid before he decided to not pursue it anymore or whatever. And my uncle was always bumping rap, bumping Tupac, bumping DMX and Dr. Dre and Eminem and all the legendary motherfuckers, Ghetto Boys and all that shit. My mom was always bumping Tupac. So like I grew up listening to like, you know, all the like real shit style hip hop, you know, like I remember like being in a car, you know, everybody bumping like Tupac and shit like that. And it was cool. It was cool. So I really got like, we're wanting to be a producer, like probably from my grandpa, just seeing my grandpa play all the instruments and shit. Like, I don't know shit, like in terms of instrument wise, you know what I mean? I don't know how to play guitar or anything like that, but like, but seeing my grandpa like write music and shit like that, that was a big influence on me wanting to be in music, you know, besides like wanting to vent my own life and all that shit, you know?
Let me ask you this, man. Do you, because being an independent artist, obviously, you know, it's not like an easy job. It's constantly working. You're constantly trying to throw music out. You're constantly, you know, working to improve your craft. Do the people around you and like the people who love you, like your family, you know, significant others, whatever it may be, do they get what you're doing? Do you feel like they understand like the kind of the path you're on?
At first, I'm gonna be honest, not really. At first, a lot of the times when I first started, they were like you shouldn't like really like pursue it as much, more like as a side thing. You know what I mean? As I got more serious about it and got better and everything like that, I got more support from everybody, and in terms of like them understanding this is like I'm going all in, you know what I mean? I'm all in, you know, percent all in. Like there's, to me, like this is it, you know what I mean? I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I could do, you know what I mean? That's humanly possible, you know what I mean? To try to do this, you know, like really do this. And they understand, you know. Now they're understanding more as things, you know, progressively getting better, you know what I mean? But at first, there wasn't like, it wasn't a lot of like, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't a lot of
support.
Yeah, support, you know what I mean, at first. But now there's, you know, now, you know, you know, I got my uncle helping me with my designs and shit like that, and all that different shit. My grandpa believes in me, you know what I mean? My mom believes in me. Even my dad believes in me. So
that's dope.
Now it's helpful now. So,
yeah, man. I think that's beautiful, bro. Like, it's cool. And I feel like I probably went the same path at the beginning. People, you know, like, because they want the best for you. So they got to see that, you know, the independent struggle is that, you know what I mean? Like it is a struggle, and you got to keep pushing forward, and it takes a lot of work. And sometimes you put a lot of work into something to have very little payoff, and because it's just about the steps, right? Like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've seen that now. Because we get a lot of young artists who are, you know, trying to do what you're doing, trying to get their name out there, trying to do shows like you, and they might be starting at zero. Like, what are some of the things you can tell artists that are trying to get into the game? Maybe some things that you saw that you didn't think were a part of the game necessarily, that you've kind of learned, like, oh, okay, I got to get better at this, or I got to do this. Like, what are some of the lessons you've learned?
Honestly, like a real big thing with me was learning how to mix. To be honest, like learning how to record myself and mix and master myself, and really have the discipline to save any extra money I could to invest in my own equipment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in the long run, it's gonna help to like in the long run, it's going to help to have all your own shit. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of like the shows and shit like that, just, you know what I mean? Like I pretty much was like doing like open mics for a long time, just around like North County, until I was able to, you know, finally like get to the point where I wasn't too shaky on performing, you know what I mean?
Right.
And even now, like even, you know what I mean? And then eventually you even meet people at open mics, or, you know, just around, just when you find out about shows, just go through to the show and just show love and support to the scene, you know what I mean? Really. I mean, like once you find the scene, you know, you just got to support it and, you know, support your back, you know. That's what I feel, you know. So
Yeah, and I've seen you, man. You're one of those dudes who definitely is a performer. You're constantly performing. I see, you know what I mean? Like I watch flyers. Your name's always on flyers. It's always dope to see you out there rocking sets. And I think one of the best things that people can learn from you, if I could say from looking from the outside in, is that I think the thing that you are, bro, is a dude who is like definitely trying to master his craft. And like you put the practice in, I can constantly seeing you practice. Like for you, it seems like it's always practice. Like you're always practicing, getting better, trying new things, trying to take things to a new level. I've seen your videos, you know, get better increasingly, your visuals, you know, as well as your performances. So I definitely can see that from the outside. Let me ask you this. Do you, when you're out there in the scene and you're looking at, what the scene has to offer, what do you feel like you bring to the scene? Like, what is your sound? Like, if you had to describe it to people, like, what part do you play in the scene?
I feel like you know, I'm definitely like aiming more towards like some on some West Coast shit, to be honest. But at the same time, not to the point where it's like but true to myself. But I feel like I'm spitting like real shit, you know what I mean? Like I'm spitting from the, you know, from my fucking heart, you know what I mean? Like I'm, you know what I mean? Like I'm rapping about fucking life, memories, past shit, present shit, where I want to be in the future or whatever. I'm rapping about my lives I've seen around me that I've grown up around, a lot of different things. And one thing for sure, you're always going to hear, you know, real shit and truth in my shit. You know what I mean? Like, 100%, you know what I mean? Like, you know, my style, I like to do boom bap. I like to do 90s style shit. You know, I like to do West Coast shit. You know, that's 90s style production is where my heart is at. You know, that's where I'm gonna try to stay true to. You know, but just real shit. You know, like it's
Yeah, I've heard you talk about like everything from meditation to streets to watching violence to growing up. Talk to me a little bit about like your day to day, man, when it comes to like just keeping your head on straight, like making sure that you stay focused. Because like I mentioned before, I know that, you know, you're an avid workout fanatic. I see you constantly out there boxing, lifting weights, doing all that. Is that a part of your mental game? Do you feel like that keeps you sane?
100%, bro. Like on some real shit. When I started like working out and training and all that shit, back in early high school when I started to play football, and then when I left football and then got into boxing, 100%, bro. Like I need to train and work out and relieve. You know, it keeps me sane. To be honest, it's like music as well. It's like they're like intertwined with me. They're in they're what I am. You know, music and training and working out. It's what I am. Like, to be honest, like when I tore my knee last year, bro, and I couldn't work out for fucking I think it was like 3.5 months while I was healing after my shit, I was fucking going fucking crazy. It's like you know what I mean? Like it's 100%. It's like a mental thing. It's one of the things that I use to stay sane and to keep a level head, and to be healthy as well. You know what I mean? Like a lot of diabetes in my family and cancer and all that shit. And I really saw that, and I don't want to like you know, die young from something that I could prevent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Awesome.
In terms of that type of 100, you know, that's, I need to train and work out to stay sane as well as I need music to stay sane. You know what I mean? Like they go hand in hand, like, you know, in my opinion, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Were you gonna say something, Eddie?
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing, man. I mean, that helps you, you know, with that training that you do and your music that you do. It's like that yin and yang. Oh, it's like that symbol you have, man. Oh, you have.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
The Bruce Lee symbol. I got that shit tatted on me. It's the constant, it's the Jeet Kune Do symbol. So, the Tao of Jeet Kune Do is Bruce Lee's book and martial art that he created. It means the way of the intercepting fist. It was Bruce Lee was a big deal on my mom's side of the family. Everybody was always watching Bruce Lee, doing nunchucks and all that shit. But got Bruce Lee's symbol tatted on me. It's
Oh yeah.
Right. It's having no limitation as limitation, using no way as way, the constant motion of the yin and the yang, partiality, fluidity, and emptiness. It's the constant motion of the yin and the yang. You know what I mean? That's Bruce Lee's symbol for his philosophy and martial art, and one of my favorite books I've ever read in my life. Not just from the combat perspective, but from the philosophies that Master Lee had. So it's a big deal to me, you know.
That's really dope, man. Yeah, and I remember us talking on tour a couple times about the fact that we both read that book, and yeah, it influenced me as well. You know, that the whole "be like water" has been like an underlying thesis, I think, for us at Platform Collection for a long time. I think it's why we vibed so well when we first met you, because we could, you know, it's obvious that just in talking to you and just watching you, that you're on a path and that you have a focus and a goal. And that's so important, man, because I think there is times where, you know, in this journey, it's very easy to just do a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of us get into it early on and go like, oh man, we just gotta just do everything. You know what I mean? Do a bunch of stuff. And the reality is at some point you have to focus that down to an actual goal set, you know? And I see you doing that, man. And I really see you working towards something that's very specific. Like I think one of the best compliments I can give you is when I met you, I remember, you know, you were still working things out. You were trying to get things lined up. You know, we talked about your brand and like, you know, how to push that forward. And then since then, man, it has been absolutely beautiful to watch you bring it all together. And now it's very easy to go to your Instagram, scroll your Instagram, and I know who you are now, right? Like if you're a stranger, you can go to RM's Instagram and just scroll it and you'll get a piece of everything that he is. Like it's very well represented. And I personally don't, I wish I could see that more in other artists, but I'm really glad that I see it in you, man, because telling your story and really getting it out there, which I think you've done a really good job at doing, helps so much. Because I said this a couple times on this show, there's one thing about listening to somebody's music, but then there's something about listening to that person's music after you know their story and you hear it different. You know what I mean? You listen to it different. There's different things. It hits you in a different way. And so I think your storytelling has been amazing, dude. I want to give you much props on that. Mm-hmm. And I want people to kind of know, like, well, before I get into that, hold on. I always love to ask people this. I've been asking people this a lot lately on the show. What do you feel like because you are in a lot of ways, you are your own manager. You're the person who's managing your career and focusing it. If you had a manager and the budget was unlimited, what does RM the Poet need to get to the next level? Like if you were just looking at your own career, what are some things you'd like to see out of yourself?
Shit, if I had a manager and unlimited budget, shit, I would be probably a music video every week. You know what I mean? For every song, everything the people just unlimited budget, dude. Like fucking, I'll be doing like all the big fucking shows, you know, that have like those bigger artists, you know what I mean? That need openers and all that. Fucking, I'd be able to like go all in quicker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The process would be a lot quicker if I had to. You know what I mean? I'd have, you know, a shit ton of merch. You know what I mean? I'd get upgrade to get more equipment. Fucking try to get fucking features from bigger artists as well. Shit, I mean, if I had an unlimited budget, that, you know what I mean, like, yeah,
you'd be killing it.
You know what I mean? If I had an unlimited budget, bro, the process would be a lot quicker. But you know, that's the journey,
I mean,
you know
I think it's good that you say that though, because bro, like sometimes, you know, throughout the years I've asked that question, and the answer is, I don't know, right? Like we've heard that before, and that's why it makes me happy, because I feel like you're gonna manifest that on your own, bro. Like you already know what you're gonna do when you get what you need to get. So it's as good as coming to you, man. That's the way I see it. You know what I mean? It's the people who don't know what they're gonna do with it. That's why it takes longer. You already know I'm sure you've envisioned it many times of like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do when I get this, and this is what I'm gonna do when I'm gonna get that, and that's great. I think that's what you need to do. You know, in fact, I honestly don't think there is another way to go about this. You know, like you have to know that that's coming, and you got to be ready for it, because it could come tomorrow, it could come next week, it could come next year, it could come in 5 minutes from now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yo, bro. Well, dude, I want to really thank you for coming on, bro. Like, I want you to tell people though, like, how can they support you? What are some things that they can do to, you know, maybe catch a show or buy merch? What can they do to support you?
Come to the shows whenever you can. Share my my music videos, all the visuals I have out right now. Keep sharing them. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram. Get merch when I drop it. Shout me out. You know, share the visuals. You know, I'm trying to drop as much visuals as possible before my next project. So subscribe to the YouTube. Share the YouTube. Let people know. Let people know about me. You know what I mean? That's really, you know what I mean? Give me a shout out when I'm not there, you know what I'm saying? Just be like, hey, you heard RM the Poet, you know, show my shit, you know?
That's right.
Nice.
And DM him. DM RM the Poet. DM. He don't mind talking to people in the DMs. If you're a fan, let him know. Hit him with a message. Ask him a question. You need advice. Like I said, my dude is an accomplished producer. His music sounds amazing. He's great on the mix. He's got experience with videos and all that. So get at him. Ask him for advice. I know my dude. Trust me, my dude will get back to you, and he'll appreciate that, and he'll share any knowledge he has. This is just not a dude who hoards knowledge, bro. Like, he's a guy who gives out knowledge and loves to share knowledge and get knowledge, man. So, dude, I appreciate you so much for coming on, bro. Please don't let this be the last time, though. Every time you have something to promote, I want you to come on, bro. If you dropping a new video, you got a new record coming out, please. You always have a home right here at PlatformCollection, bro. You already know we got your back anytime.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys, for real. On some real shit, I appreciate you motherfuckers. Real shit. Like, for real.
Thank you.
I'm thankful for y'all motherfuckers. We'll talk.
Salute to you, my G. We'll talk soon.
No doubt. Hey, peace out. Much
All right,
love.
brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, Arm the Poet, man. What can we say?
Great, man.
What can we say, Eddie?
We can say we know how to pick him.
There you go. Oh, you almost missed it.
Oh, I almost lost it. Yeah.
Yeah. People don't know we met. So do you remember how we met Arm the Poet?
Yes, when we were doing a tour,
Yep.
that was the first time, and we needed
With Noah James.
Noah James, yeah. So we needed
We need some openers.
some openers, and pulled out a flyer out there, and he was on it, man.
He
hit us up.
answered. He wanted to get on. He did everything he had to do to get on the tour. And I'll tell you this, like one of the things I always respect about RM is, and I got his back in every way on this, that nobody can tell me that dude hasn't put in the work, because we watched him put in the work. He had like, on tour, he had like in the opening spot almost all the stops of the tour, which is, if anybody's ever been on a tour, that opening spot is tough. You got to set the mood. You got to get people energetic.
Right.
And I saw from show 1 to the last stop, huge improvements every show. And this dude I think he did the right thing when he was on tour. And I really see RM. This is why, like, if you're an artist, if you're a young artist, or you're someone trying to maybe get to the places that RM's getting, right? Because this dude he has shows weekly, dude. This dude's dropping videos all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's always out there and he's always being mentioned. Hit him for a DM, man. He will give you some good advice, because he took some good advice out on that tour, and I saw him put it to work for himself. Like he would sit and talk to the headliners, ask them questions, pick their brains, and then apply it. We'd see him apply it like the next night. He'd apply it. He'd walk around, shake everybody's hand. He'd always be ready.
He was doing videos every
Instagram,
day,
yep.
on that time. Yeah.
Social media is dope. His social media game is really good, because he's constantly telling his story.
Yeah.
And he's telling it in a cool way. And I think that it's not said enough, man. Like how just applying the things you learn is like the key to this, right? Like it's not enough just to observe and then just go keep doing like what you're doing. Like observe, take in some information, and then apply that information. And if you're doing this right and you're doing it correct, then you should be getting new information on how to like push your career forward all the time.
Right.
Because either you're asking questions, you're learning from other artists, you're learning from people's mistakes, you're learning from your own mistakes, you're trying stuff, you're experimenting. And he's constantly done that. And now to see him kind of mature into the artist that he is, makes me happy, man. It
does, man. I mean, I didn't know. I mean, it's how you ask the questions as how they start music and all that. From his grandpa doing music and playing, all the instruments, and him being a producer, I was like, and he's like, oh, I don't know how to play instruments, but he has the ear, for that because of his grandpa.
Right.
So, and it's like it's like live ear to to these to the machine.
Yeah, it definitely translates.
Right.
It definitely translates.
Yep, that was dope, man.
Some of the best producers I know don't know how to play instruments. But you can hear it like in his beats. He's very musical. I love the fact that he represents the West Coast like he does. He has this sound, like, because what he talks about and the way he raps is very forward thinking, and it's kind of futuristic. But his backdrops, which are his beat selection, are always like these, like reminiscent of like West Coast 90s hip hop. That's just not, it's not that well represented. And I'll say something about like where he's from, because he mentioned North County, and what he meant was North County, San Diego. And it's a very different scene than Central San Diego. North County, San Diego has its own scene. Oceanside, Escondido, Vista, all the places up there. That's a different scene altogether. So if you're not from San Diego and you're looking to come to San Diego and kind of like check out the scenes, it's going to take you a while, because there's a southern scene, there's a northern scene, there's an eastern scene. There's a Western scene out on the beach. Like there's a lot of different scenes, and you'll get different sounds and different music and different characters and all of those things.
Right.
But in the North County, RM's really made a name for himself, and they love that West Coast vibe over there. They love to have drive-in music, is what I like to call it.
Oh, that's a great description.
You know what I mean? Like and there's a lot of cruising up there, and RM's music always works for that. So definitely check him out, and for sure drop him a line, support him, talk to him about working out. Dude is working out. You saw some of those videos. He's a beast. You know?
He is, man. And man, that makes so much sense. Yeah, that working out does convert to like mental energy, and just kind of keeps a little bit clearer than the fog.
Yeah, because
every day.
Yeah, and I think it's almost a necessity, especially because one of the things he definitely learned, and I saw him learn out there, was that on tour. I mean, was that you need to keep your energy up.
You do.
You need to be healthy. You cannot be unhealthy out on tour and expect that shit to last.
It will bite you in the ass.
Yeah, it'll grind you down.
Man.
Me and Eddie have been victims of that in the past, where your body just gets beat up. The older you get, your body gets beat up. And sorry to break it to you all, but you're all getting older.
Yes.
Everybody's getting older. And even if you're a young artist, start now, man. Take that part of it serious. Try not to drink and smoke your whole career away, because it's very easy to do that. I've seen many people do that.
Quick, and it happens quickly.
It happens very quickly.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, dude, he's a great example, a shining star in our book. And Platform Collection is always going to have Arm the Poet's back. So please support Arm the Poet. Follow him, Arm the Poet, on Instagram.
Shout him out and send him a DM.
Yeah, shout him out, send him a DM. We got the homie Dannu from the legendary Visionaries coming up. I know people are excited. Yeah, we're doing a kind of an all San Diego show, because Dannu represents San Diego as well. He's the one visionary from San Diego.
Dope.
Which, by the way, doesn't. I definitely want to talk to him about that, right? Because I feel like Dannu doesn't like when San Diego hip hop is talked about, he gets left out of the conversation a lot, and I don't know why. Like. Dude, my dude has had crazy success. And I just think that because he's from such an LA-based group, people tend to forget. I mean, we've also been victims of that too. People have thought we were from LA forever. And even though we have a lot of strong ties in LA and we're there all the time, we're from San Diego. So... and being from San Diego comes with something different.
Right.
It just like being from LA comes from something different. So we're going to talk to Dannu about that. Shout out to Tumex for hooking that up. He hit us up and said, yo, man, can we get Dannu on the show? Of course.
Yes.
We'll take any of the Visionaries all the time. You guys know we got mad love for Tumex and the whole Visionary crew. Shout out to all of them. But we'll have him be coming up. What time we got him coming up?
We got him at 8:15.
8:15. So we got a little bit of time, man. What's been going on with you, bro? Like, you definitely have lost some weight. I see that. Man. I see you're taking it serious.
Definitely taking it serious. To be honest, if we're being honest, not of my choice in this. And the reason I say that is because my wife is the one that's doing the cooking. And she's going all out on the exercise and the healthy cooking and
stuff. She's the coach right now, huh?
Yep. So it's like, I mean, if I'm gonna eat and she's enjoying making these, healthy foods, I just do them, man. And I don't, and I don't eat as fast as I did before. I would like almost swallow food, and now I'm just like, it might take me 30 minutes or so as I eat it and just kind of go for it.
That's important. People don't understand how important that is. I think it took me a long time to know that. Do you remember we used to have a friend named Raul? We used to call him Wawa.
Oh, bro, yes.
Do you remember that?
I was thinking about that name right now.
He was the first dude that I met. I mean, and like when we were like 18, he was already doing this. He just kind of knew about nutrition very early. And this dude would sit there and he would cut up his food. And I remember we'd always give him shit because we'd order food and we'd almost be done with our food by the time he'd cut his food all up into little pieces.
Yes. And
even back then, and this was definitely not something I was thinking about at 18. He was like, nah, man, it's just easier to digest. And like, you got to take your time and like,
And he wouldn't drink until he finished.
Right. Yeah, dude. yeah, it was very.
I remember that.
It was going over my head at the time, but now I get it. I get why he did that, and he's had great health since then. But yeah,
that makes sense.
I remember that now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I've seen talking to Arm about the whole health thing. He's like, I've definitely looked at his videos and gotten motivated. Like, oh shit, I need to get up right now. Like, I need to go to the gym because, dude, I don't know if you've seen. Are you familiar with like any of like the CrossFit world? Have you ever heard of that? Like,
I've heard of it and I've seen it, through my wife's YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, not that I just almost like we crossed paths. I'm like, oh, she's watching that, and I just kept going.
I by no means am like promoting it. People have a lot of varying opinions on CrossFit, and like some people are like, you can get hurt, and I mean. Nonetheless, one of the things I've been watching lately though is like you can go on Netflix and I think they have a thing called like, or actually no, it's on YouTube. So YouTube, we're keeping people here.
Yes.
But one of the things that I've seen is a thing called the fittest on earth. Have you ever seen that? Dude, you got to look these videos up. I mean, there's everything from like people that are 18 to 60, right? And these are like, they're just that. They're like, they compete to be like the fittest people on earth, and they've come up with like a whole trial of exercises and different things to see.
Oh wow.
And it's no joke. In fact, let me see if I can bring up some of it. Hopefully we won't get blocked for it. But I
mean, you might have to just silence it.
Yeah, I'll definitely silence it, but I'll see if they can.
Oh, they still catch you with the visual?
Sometimes,
what?
man.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes just the visual part.
They are out there.
Yeah, they're on top of it. Let's see. Fittest.
Oh, I mean,
fittest. Oh, there it is. Fittest on earth. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, dude. In fact, you can. Oh, there's a bunch of movies on there. So I'm saying it. Go check out Fittest on Earth, CrossFit Mayhem, all that stuff. We'll play this one back from. This just on YouTube. But let me see.
Oh wow!
So they're doing this kind of stuff, dude, and it's let me see if I can bring this up here. Oh, they might not let us play.
Oh, it's blocking it. See, they've blocked you already.
Oh yeah, they already blocked. Let me see if I can bring up just a clip.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's dudes on here. Oh, like this Froning dude. I don't really know all their names yet. I just started watching it.
Wow.
And again, I'm not saying that by any means just choose this. These guys are competitive athletes. This is what they're doing. But I mean, look at the stuff they got to do. Like, so it'll be like a series where they're just out there for the entire day, and it's about reps more than necessarily just weight. So they have to be, because I guess the whole idea behind it is they're trying to do like real world exercises that you really like, that would apply to real life.
Oh, okay,
right.
Okay,
like, so they're running, they're carrying, they're pressing, using all their body parts. They'll do like a few mile run, and then look at this shit. They have to, they do the rings, and it's crazy, dude. And the thing is, when I first started watching it, I was like, oh, this is like, you see some of these guys and you're like, oh, they're like young.
Yeah.
They're not. A lot of them are like in their 40s and 50s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then a lot of them are doing it to kind of prove like, yo, it never really has to stop. Like your physical stuff never really has to stop. And
that makes sense. Wow.
But yeah, dude, if you want like just some like Monday morning motivation, just go throw on one of those videos and you'll feel like, I definitely watch those videos and I'm like, God damn, I got to do way more. Like, there's some 60-year-old man going up a rope. Like, I don't even know if I could go up a rope right now.
Just actually the thought of it was like, oh man, that might hurt.
Dude. Yeah, dude.
Oh,
think about that.
I might pull something.
Like dudes who are like, 20, 30 years older than you.
I got to get my ass together.
And they're just doing it. But yeah, it's crazy because it's men and women. Like the women are crazy as well. Like they're just out there putting up massive weights and like doing this. There was like a pull-up competition, right? And they had to do like a set of pull-ups, like within like this 1 minute period. Like you just go.
Okay.
And so like, I mean, dude, these people are hitting like, 100, 150 like pull-ups.
Oh, wow.
Like in a row, like just going for it, you know? And so, and they train year round. It's kind of like it's definitely a competitive thing because I think they can make money now. But I mean, speaking of competitive training, well, you and I are going to be taking part this October in the Hip Hop 5K.
Oh, is that sign up still available?
Oh, yo, you're signing up, bro. Don't. No, we sent a link out on the Platform Collection chat for all the staff.
Oh, is that
for the early? That was the early sign up. Yeah. So I'd say sign up now because if not, you're going to be paying a lot more. In fact, let me see if I can bring up some information.
Is there any donations out there for me?
Hip Hop 5K. Let's see.
And I think it's in San Diego.
Oh yeah, SD Hip Hop 5K. If you guys want to come and run with us down in San Diego, make a trip. If you're in LA, come down. You know, have some fun with us. We're all going to do it. You can clown us as we work our way through it. But
oh wow, yeah.
No joking. All joking aside, the entire team at Platform Collection is going to take part in it this year. And we've never done it as a team, but the signups are ready. They're out there. In fact, let's see. You can do runsignup.com. If you go to runsignup.com, and it's the SD Hip Hop 5K. Because you guys have heard that there's a...
That's 5 miles?
There's a... no, it's like 3.5. A 5K is like 3.5 or something like that. It's not actually 5 miles. But they even have a kids one. They have a seniors division. And the registration, it's on October 23rd.
I see that, man.
6 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Registration ends on October 23rd as well. So
I got time.
You got time. I mean, dude, you got plenty. It's October. There's no reason that June 20th, we're in June, on June 22nd. There should be no reason.
And you have to run, right? You can't use like...
Eddie, you have to run.
Oh.
You're not getting it. You're already looking for an excuse to not have to run. You're running it. You are running it. Dude, that's plenty of time. Like, you're talking October, bro. I mean, literally, you just need a month. If you just ran for a month, you'd get it down. Man. So we're in June. You got July, August, September. By September, you should probably be able to do an actual 5 miles. And then this is just going to be 3.5. So you should be able to do that. I mean, we're all going to do it. 7 Octobers is doing it. Melly's doing it. Gene Flo is doing it. I saw him running already.
Parker?
He's the only one we haven't really talked to about it. He's got to do it. Yeah, I mean, Parker's the one who took us on hikes and stuff.
Did.
So,
and that was the last time I went.
I feel like Parker could probably do it now.
I would agree.
But we'll see. But the challenge is out there, and we're going to keep you guys updated on our training. We're going to show some of the training videos here on Chris Sees the Internet. So it's almost like the Chris Sees the Internet weight loss challenge is back, except now we got a goal, and now we're going to have real proof that we got in shape because we're going to do a 5K in October. It's after Thought Fest too, so it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's a great way to celebrate Thought Fest, post Thought Fest come down. Would do it by running a 5K.
Man. I gotta get in shape for that too, man.
For Thought Fest. Yeah, Thought Fest is no joke. Me and Eddie are going to be working the main stage this year, managing that stage. If you've ever had to work a festival full day, that's a workout in itself.
Right.
I mean, you should see us all at the end of a Thought Fest. Some of us are bandaged up. Some of us are icing down. You know what I mean? People are sweaty and smoky and dirty.
Sunburn.
That's always a big one. So, I'm covering all my bases. I am not trying to go into Thought Fest this year in any kind of bad shape. I'm trying to go in great shape, and that's the goal. So,
and the comfy shoes, man. You got to bring the comfy shoes. Yeah,
and speaking of Thought Fest, they just released today. I'll bring it up here.
Let's see. I'm excited, man.
Let's see here. Yeah, the Happiness of Pursuit Festival. They just announced the official launch party.
Whoa.
It'll be happening July 9th, and featuring Sly Boogie Hex Bundy, Geronimo X, and Hannah Got Raps.
Oh,
And they'll
wow.
be announcing the entire Thought Fest 2022 lineup. And there will also be an artist competition there. So
Oh, okay.
please come out and check it out.
Yes.
Hosted
please.
by myself, hosted by 60 East with DJ Roz. So catch us out there, man. We're going to be out there. Come by the platform booth. We'll probably have a booth out there, have some merch out there. It's a fun times. But understand, Thought Fest season has begun.
Oh, it's around the corner.
It's
now.
just right around the corner. So
It's almost a blink of an eye and it's there.
follow Thought Fest. That's THOPFEST. Thought Fest, the Happiness of Pursuit Festival. Follow the festival on Instagram and get ready for the lineup. I've had the pleasure of getting some of the leaked lineup, and man, just the people that I've seen on there already, this is the best Thought Fest ever. It's the biggest one ever. Some of the biggest names ever, and some names that I've wanted to see on the festival for years, really.
Amazing, man.
Since it first started, some of my favorite artists are going to be on this. I'm excited. This is probably the Thought Fest I'm the most excited for ever, because some of my favorite artists are going to be on here. Some of my biggest influences will be on the festival. So make sure you check that out in October and follow Thought Fest for all that good information.
Yes. you gotta get it.
But next up, man, we got the homie Dannu.
Yes.
So if you guys don't know who Dannu is, a member of the Almighty Visionaries, amazing MC in his own right, and a guy with a lot of history and a lot of knowledge on the game. So we're going to jump right into that, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the homie Dannu. Man, I want to jump right into it. First of all, thank you for being on the show. Shout out to Tumex for hooking this up.
Yes, Alex.
Dude, mad respect. You got to understand. First of all, you need to understand the amount of respect and love we got for you, man. The fact that you are the lone visionary from San Diego.
Yes.
And which I feel like a lot of people miss that.
They did,
especially
for sure.
here in SD, which I want to talk to you about for sure. We're definitely going to dig into that, man. But what I really want to talk to you about is just, what do you got going on? What's coming up for you? People are obviously, man, you guys have this fan base that is a rabid fan base. They're always wanting to know when they're going to hear all of you guys again, hear you guys individually. What's going on in your life? Try to catch us up a little bit right now.
For sure. As most of you know, right before COVID hit, we were, as the Visionaries Collective, we pretty much were finished with a full-blown album. We still managed to release it during 2020, but obviously, yeah, exactly. Like we had to do everything during that whole time. We had to, switch it up, do what we could while we were at home, quarantined from the world. We made it happen though. Luckily, we got very talented people in our group that can do things like that. Like Zen and Key did a lot of that on their computers, and
Nice.
like Tez, like Zen, we call him Tez. He was in Spain for a while. He was traveling the world, like just, and still being able to do this. Key was, in the midst of moving. Alex was going through his thing in Long Beach. James Elemento, he moved to Riverside. I'm all the way down here in San Diego. So, and then Rhett's still in Cerritos. So, we all had to do what we had to do to make this album happen. And it was a great album. I'm so proud of it. It's just, what
Amazing
happened
album.
through all the COVID thing, it is what it is, bad timing.
So
it's still barely
where were
getting
you
out
at?
there, so.
Talk to me a little bit about that, man, because obviously COVID hit us all by surprise. We all can say that in retrospect now. What was the thought process before COVID, and what was the thought process like right after it?
Let me tell you this. I work for Sharp Hospital here in San Diego.
Oh, wow.
And I've been working with them for over 13, 14 years.
Wow.
So, we already knew it was coming. There was already a lot of patients coming in. And when it full-blown hit, I was in the front line. I work for IT, but I'm in the device department. So we were the ones, our team were the ones setting up all the tents, at all the ERs and the urgent cares for all these people coming in with COVID.
Wow.
And it was crazy. It was crazy because, talk about PTSD. I mean,
Yeah.
we couldn't go home. A lot of the IT people, specialists, they got to stay home, because they're just online. And no, we were in the field with the doctors and nurses trying to deal with that craziness that went for over a year, until we almost got used to it and got immune. But, we weren't allowed to wear masks at the time
Oh
because they
wow.
were telling us, everyone was getting the N95, right? I came to
Right.
work that day, N95, and I was at Memorial Hospital, and a lot of these VPs were coming to me, hey, you can't use those types of masks. It's giving the patients the wrong idea. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm trying
Wow.
to live here, you know?
Mm-mm.
And I
Yeah.
remember nurses coming up to me, RNs going, hey, don't worry about what he's saying right now. Wear your mask whenever you get a chance to. We're all trying to live here, and we're all, we don't have a choice. We have to come to
Right.
work. You know what I'm saying? We're
Yeah.
helping everyone get well, and you're telling me I can't wear a mask. You're telling me I can bring these germs to my family. Nah, man. Yeah, it was a crazy time, man. I was coming home stripping in the garage, literally, and putting something else before I would go in the house. Every day I was afraid I was going to bring it to my family. You know what I'm saying? And
Wow.
it
Yeah.
was it was like wartime, bro. For real, it was crazy. It was really
Y-
crazy. But that's what I went through. And so when we were already going through the process of making this music, the guys already knew. They're like, "Yo, Dannu, don't go." Alec, he was like, "Don't go to work, bro. Don't go to work." I'm like, "No, I have to, man. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I'm not gonna like just sit there at home like everyone else is and not address the situation. I want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. So, hey, I strapped up the boots and kept it moving, and luckily I survived it all. A lot of people didn't. So, you know what
True
I'm
that,
saying?
man.
It was a crazy
True that.
time. It was a
Let
crazy time, man.
Wow.
Let me ask you this, man. As far as the group goes and your own musical journey, obviously it's been a long one,
Yeah.
and to see you guys still making music at the level that you guys are making is amazing. It's inspiring. I feel like you guys are still contributing to that, to helping hip hop grow up, right? Because as you
Yeah.
guys have all grown up, we've watched hip hop grow up as well, and you guys have
Yeah.
helped usher that along. What do you feel like has been your role in the group, and then just in contributing to hip hop throughout the years? How do you see yourself?
Mm, it's a good question. Um, I'd like to say in the beginning when I first met the guys, coming up from San Diego, when I first met everyone within the span of a year and a half or two from
Mm,
moving from San Diego to LA. I moved up there in '92 to go to Cal State Long Beach, and was living in Long Beach. So me moving up there and having to live on my own right away. That was the first time I ever moved out of the house. I was 22, and I was already dealing with all that. So when I finally met the guys, I was already in that mode of, you know, all right, I'm a rap with y'all, hang out, but I gotta kind of go home, and so I gotta wake up and go to work so I can pay for
yeah,
these bills, right? So
yeah.
I was already, the only other one that was like that all as well was Zen, and he was the first member I met. Anyway, so we clicked on that end. Everybody else that I met were still living at their mom's house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think as time went on, a lot of them seen that way, of hustling and everything. And they all, in time, they all grew up, everyone got married, whatever, got kids, and did what everyone's doing now, right? Caught up.
Right.
But I think in the beginning, I was showing them without showing them, you know what I'm saying? That,
Yeah.
hey, at some point we have to grow up and not, rely on other people anymore as far as,
Right.
real life situations. I mean, I had my first kid was born in '95, you know,
Mm,
so that right there
yeah.
woke me up and had a very crazy effect on my life at that point. So, because I was young, I was like 24, and
Yeah.
so I mean, I think, for me personally, I think the growth of me as an artist, MC, and everything, really follows my whole life. Whereas a lot of the guys in the group put out so much, material, and for me, I mean, I don't blame it on, life itself,
Mm-hmm.
but I blame it me being, I probably would have been more productive had I not chose to be a better father, chose to, hey, I gotta work right now. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah, yeah.
hang out all day and just rap all night. I had to learn to be responsible from the very start of meeting the group, and they learned a lot from me on that end. Because I mean, I remember living in the same house. I don't know if you guys ever knew about this, but we, I think it was right before galleries or right after galleries. We all rented this house, and it was a house that was owned by KILLcRey's brother, who was studying to be a lawyer at the time, or was a lawyer,
Mm.
and it was in West LA, right?
Mm.
And it was me, Tolalan Cinco, Tumex, rest in peace Memo,
Wow.
and it was supposed to be all of us. Like Key was supposed to move in, out of his house. Rhett was supposed to move out of his house, um, and Elemental. But everyone was like, "Ah, man, I can't." It was a dusty, tilted old house, bro. Like there was mushrooms growing in my rug, bro. Like,
Wow.
but yeah, it was a fun time, man. Like it was funny because I was still going to work while everybody, I don't know how they were getting paid. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? But
right,
they
right,
were paying the rent.
right.
But like Alex and Cinco, they had everybody and their mamas up in there
I
rapping,
bet.
recording, partying all night. I would go to LA. I would go to San Diego to go chill with my kid and meet the family and just hang out. And I'd come back and there's like people passed out, drug paraphernalia, like.
Yeah.
It was crazy, man. I was just getting mad, like, yo, man, like I don't care about the parties, but yo, man, respect the room, bro. Like, what the fuck? But hey, it was a learning
feel you.
experience. It was fun. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember Demo Killer with
Yeah.
Third Eye Cows, with
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wallen and Jail. Yeah. So yeah, that was made in that house. That at least the recording of
Wow.
it, like me and Cinco and Alex. Yeah, I just came to like, hey man, you want to get on? I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll get on. And I just
Nice,
Wow.
got
nice.
on that,
Oh, wow.
and it was like. It was
That
cool,
is the
man. I mean,
magic
they had crazy parties there,
of
man.
living together like that too. It's the magic of
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
But dude, let me ask you this because you saying these stories about your history, a lot of that has been confirmed for us, talking to other members, and people have credited you as being the quote unquote they'd say like the responsible one, or the one who kept our minds on track. Like what? But what made
Yeah.
someone like you, who already had a mind like that, who was already kind of thinking about the bigger picture? You weren't just thinking about just quote unquote rap life. You were thinking about life. What
Yeah.
makes someone like you
Yeah.
join a group like Visionaries and want to be part of that? You know what I mean? Like, 'cause it seems like there's so many different personalities in the group. What would bring your personality to that group?
Well, let me tell you, it wasn't easy with the younger guys. Let me tell you that right now. The especially the Elementals and the Tumaxes.
Yeah.
They're like way younger than me. I'm like, what do you? We would conflict in that way. Like, hey,
Yeah.
like, why are you even saying or thinking that way? Like, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the way we came about was naturally, of course. I met Zen first. Zen knew Key. Key, of course, was in the group with Rat. They knew Tumax. Elemento and Key was in the group together. So as me and Zen rolled around together all the time, started hanging out with Key, and then once they started working on their album already, first it was just Key doing his own stuff, and so we just kind of hung out because we all had the same likes, hip hop. We're all going to clubs at the time when Rhett was DJing at all those, even like Legends and all that, all the what is those the DMKs, and he had like 5 different clubs. Also like Icy Ice had their big club in downtown LA. We used to just, it was like everyone just like homies, and we just go out and party, but we just happened to like, hip hop. I love hip hop.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
once we started really rolling with Key and Rhett, like as they were promoting, we we're their crew already because we were always there anyway, and we would, you know, we were the guys that freaking putting stickers on everything, and the guys like passing out flyers, the guys carrying Rhett's crates whenever, you know, we were just there. We were the homies around, and you know, and then fast forward, it just became, hey, let's jump on this song, and when that song came out, and everyone was like, man, you know, we have a cool little chemistry already. Let's go, instead of making a second album for Key and Rhetmatic, let's just do a Visionaries, and that's what happened. And that's a whole crunched up.
Yeah, for sure.
It's way more into it, but
well, let me ask you this, because you know we've spoken to other members of the crew, and I've always wondered, like, I've been curious about this because, dude, like, you guys are, you know, it's such a staple now, right? Like the Visionaries, all of you guys, you're such a staple, especially in Southern California, especially in LA, and I always wonder, was there any part of you that knew that it was going to be what it is? Like, was there any part of you that kind of thought like, oh, this is going to be like, you know, quote unquote. I mean, bro, the fact that people use words like legendary when they describe you all, like, that's a huge deal, you know. But right,
it's crazy though.
But it's real though, and it's and the love you guys get is real. Was it something that you saw early on? Could you have predicted it?
Not even. I think there was a few shows that we got off stage going, holy, you know.
Yeah.
One in particular was when we did like a crazy, our first tour, going to Japan and Hawaii, and it was the galleries, and we had already released the single Blessings, and we didn't know, but like a lot of the Beat Junkie members back then were already spinning our stuff. Now, mind you, Beat Junkies was big back then,
right,
but in just the local scene. They weren't not worldwide like there, and they got their own school. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like cats like Melody and J-Rock were already spinning it at their own perspective, like either radio shows or clubs, whatever. And people like Mark Loves, you know, like when we left, we didn't know that there was this crazy buzz already going in LA because people knew kind of us already, but those songs, Blessings and Love Hip Hop, was the one that kind of exploded. And so by the time we got back, I think it was a Unity what we were booked to do, right? And you remember, I don't know if you guys remember, Unity back then was like, it's not like how people are all Rock the Bells or like Back to Basics. Now everyone, they're all peers, but back then,
right,
if you're on Unity, there's a big name guy like Busta Rhymes or Wu-Tang or you know, Gravediggers or someone that's big that you're probably going to open up for. And back then, most of the faces, it wasn't like now where it's like a little mix now. Back then, it was more brothers, you know, like all up in there, like, yo, if you suck, bro, we're going to boo the fuck out of you right now.
Yeah.
So it was a little harder, a little rougher back. You got the real deal. Like, you know, if they liked you, then you did some.
Right.
But anyway, when we did that show, and you know, we were already primed, like doing a tour, and your lung space and everything, and you're just ready, right? So when we did that show, we went crazy, and when we dropped that Blessings and the whole crowd started like moshing, we were like, whoa.
Oh wow.
What just happened? All of us on stage are just getting eye contact with each other going, you know, like this, we're like,
yeah.
There was a few shows like that where we're like, whoa, okay, we got something here, guys. I think we're about to blow right now. When we had cats telling us that, yo, man, you guys are blowing up. But at the time, we're like, you know, we didn't have Instagram or anything like to monitor the numbers and stuff like that. We were just like, it's just at shows, you know.
Yeah.
But then after a while, you know, I'm at like Disneyland or I'm at SeaWorld with my kid, and people are like, yo, you know, I'm like, dang, okay, it's getting crazy now. Yeah,
were the people around you that, like the people around you, like your loved ones and maybe just even like family and stuff, like, did they understand what was happening? Like, did they get it?
not my immediate family. My younger cousins, okay, you
Mm-hmm.
already know Filipinos, we got hella relatives.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in San Diego, I had a lot of younger cousins that were in that scene already. You know, they were going to all the not what did they used to call those shows? Like undergrounds, whatever, right?
Yep.
So they were already
Yep.
going to all those underground shows, and they were pretty much letting me know, hey man, yo cousin, yo man, you guys are blowing up. And I'm like, I guess so. I guess
Wow.
so. But
Wow.
like the younger ones knew, but the older ones, like, you know, they were like, you know, like my sister she probably only went to one show, and it was our first record release party. And it's a funny story. She went to that show. I can't remember where it was, but that's when Tumex stage dove for the first time, and she happened to be right there.
Wow.
She's like, she was like,
Wow.
ah!
That man has no business
know.
stage diving.
No, at all. At all.
Yeah, he was the first. He was the first one, man. When he stage dove, that was it. Everyone just went ballistic. Like, oh, we can do that now.
Wow.
But,
Wow.
That's tight.
That's
I
really
mean,
cool, man. And
it's-
I don't want to stay
yeah.
too much on the history of it, because I love the history of it, but I know it's out there, and I know a lot of people
Oh, no,
have
it's a
talked
big
about
part.
it
It's a big
before.
part of.
Yeah. But I also want to talk to you just about your own like creative process, man. You know, I've always enjoyed your music, and so I kind of want to dig into like how as I mean, you're a lifelong artist at this point, right? Like you can honestly say that, like you be making some form of art has always been a part of your life now for the better part of your life now. How do you keep the creative juices flowing as you grow older, as you have the family, as you're managing more responsibilities, as you know things become more important, some things become less important? How have you managed that creative mind?
Well, you know, it's good you asked that, because as people know, I don't really have a lot of solo albums. I have one to my name. I have two albums under writer's block, but all of that were in between, far in between, you know. And honestly, like, I really didn't take myself as a solo artist serious at the time. You know, I really liked being a part of a group. Like, that's how I started. I always had someone with me, a partner that I can vibe with and create music that way. I guess I'm just not that quote unquote MC where, you know, they go for theirs. They're just, you know, they can be in groups, but they're soloists for sure. And I was never like that, you know. For some reason, I was never like that. And so when I did do all the albums with Writer's Block, that was funner to me. And then when you know, towards the end of, I want to say after Pangea, the Visionaries, you know, everyone started doing their own thing. You know, obviously Elemental doing 100 million albums, and Tumex doing 100 million albums,
Right,
and
right.
Red doing his own stuff, right? You know, Key kind of dove more into the business, and me and Zen were kind of left to like, hey, what are we gonna do? But like, me and Zen have always been the ones who had to hustle, like, in life, right? Like, more
Yeah.
Zen more than me, because Zen was always like traveling different places. But when I finally like went back to San Diego, and I had to make a decision, like, okay, we made okay money, but every time we made money, it was just enough to pay that year. Like, we were like super popular, but it never really equaled to like, hey, we're getting paid like, you know, 6 G's a month. I can live off this, because there's six
Right.
of us, right?
Right.
So a lot of the things we did, it had to split 6 ways. On top of that, we had management. So whenever we did tours, you know, it was a struggle, because, you know, there's 6 dudes. We had to accommodate for 6 dudes. So it's funny, like, every time we did like tours with people, a lot of the times we would turn a lot of tours down because of that. You know, like,
Right,
all
right.
the other guys that lived at home, they're like, oh yeah, I'm down to go. And I'm like, sorry guys, I can't, dude. Like, I have a daughter. I can't just leave for 6 months and come back when my rent is like, you know, 900 or 1,000 a month,
Right.
and I'm coming back with 300 a month.
It's just not
That doesn't
cost
make sense to
effective.
me. So I had to keep my. Oh, it's not. And so I've always been the one that had a 9 to 5. There was a stint where maybe a couple years I didn't work and just went touring everywhere. But, you know, it was because I was like, you know, let me just do this and see what happens. but I've always had a job. And so fast forward to, after Pangea, I made a commitment and decision to, like, you know what, I'm not gonna leave this art, but I have to get a real job,
Yeah.
like a real job, not no,
Mm-hmm.
like working for like $5, $6, $7 an hour. I needed something that can pay me enough to where I can have actual health benefits,
Yeah.
for my
Yep.
kid. At the time,
Yep.
for my kid. Now I have
Yep.
two. So that being said, I still did the shows with the Visionaries, but there was no room for me to even think of anything solo wise. Me and Zen did a writer's block album after the first one, and I funded all that. But after that, I was like, okay, you know, it's not making too much. So I'm like, you know what, Tez, I need to get this job, yo. Whenever you want to make music, and at the time, I didn't have this what we have now, where I can record in my own house. I always had to drive to LA and
Okay.
go into our studio and drop whatever, right?
Mm,
So that, so anyway, so now fast forward, I was like, okay, I finally got the job in 2008, doing well. And then after a while, I'm like, man, I spoke with Rhett, and he's like, man, you should just do a solo, bro. And I was like, all right, man, as long as you help me. He's like, I got you, man. So that's what Virgo Summer came out.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
helped me connect me with a bunch of guys with engineering and beats, and I did my own thing. Got something from Exile. Started working with other MCs, and recorded all that. Um, Funny thing about that album is we recorded everything, and then the shit got lost.
Oh wow.
All the
oh no
files,
no.
so I had to re-record everything. But
Wow.
anyway, so we really, yeah, that shit sucked. But that happens. But anyway, so we released that, and it was cool. But like, at that time, I was still working, so I couldn't just go off and do a tour and promote it. So, and plus, I was like, okay, I'm on my own, but I still wasn't like full blown. I'm gonna market myself. I still,
Mm-hmm.
so, and that was partly my fault for doing that. Fast forward to now, and to answer your question about the creativity, I think for me it came in spurts. I've always been a creative person.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been. I pride myself on my writing. Like, I'm not like that freestyle MCs. I love to freestyle when we're the homies, but I'm not that freestyle MC. I do love to write, and I like concepts. I like telling stories. I like telling facts, and it has to
Nice.
revolve around something I know. So, that being said, my creative process started getting better after this last album, with the Visionaries. I started catching my second wind as a writer, like
Yeah.
really like putting more thought into how I wrote things. And when we were going up to Key's house to start this the V album, um, a lot of things just was flowing for me, and I was getting a lot of compliments from the guys. And when I finally met Paranormal and this other dude Butter, who you guys haven't heard yet, but I'm doing a project with him this year. It just started clicking with me as far as like writing and concepts. And I mean, as you guys said, I mean, I am seasoned. I just don't have enough material out there to show that.
Yeah.
But it's better late than never. And
Right.
with me anyway, it's like I'm not taking it as serious as I should, but I am taking it serious, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
I have a lot of this stuff in me, and it'll always be in me. And as long as people dig it when I do put it out, then I'm gonna keep doing it. I'll do it
Nice.
anyway. But with these projects, the guys in that group heard it, and they're like, dude, don't put it on DistroKid. Let's put it out through our stuff. Let's do this. Let's do this the way,
Yeah.
because we have a business, Visionaries Inc. We have a business, and it's just, why not filter it through our business? Why separate everything like we've had been doing? Why not we put it all through our own business?
I
And
agree.
so now we have a LLC, and I mean, let's keep it moving. Let's have fun, and that's basically what I'm really on to right now. Is I feel like I'm having fun again, creating music, opposed to like, I know everyone always says it's not about the money, but back then, if you're saying it's not about the money, you're probably living at your mom's house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yep.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's just the real facts, man. I
Yep.
mean, no one's doing stuff for free when they are doing stuff for free. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are doing stuff for free.
Yeah.
But there is the intention of like, I'm doing this, but put my name on there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Make sure that I'm credited for, and that all is all for making money. Like, let's be real. But for me, I have a job, so now it's reversed. Now it's like I just want to make good music, and if people like it, I want to continue to make good music. And of course, I'm going to go through the business, and when it makes money, that's the icing on the cake right there. But it's not what drives. It's not what drives me anymore because I have a great job. You know what I'm saying?
That's exciting, though, man. I can tell you, just as a fan, it's exciting to hear you talk. It seems like you're locked in on that, and that's. I could tell you, just as a fan watching from the outside, and obviously paying attention to your career over the years, it's exciting to hear you talk like this, because one of the things we talk about a lot on this show is that I feel like, all of us are really blessed to be, especially the fact that we love hip hop. We're all really blessed to be alive during this time where we're actually seeing hip hop grow up, right? And it seems like it's becoming an accepted part of an inevitable part of hip hop that was going to happen anyways. We all knew it was going to happen eventually, but there were those times in the past where people were like, people only wanted to hear an MC during their quote unquote youngest of times, their dumbest of times. You know what I mean? Like the times where, when, and we've talked about this a lot on this show. There's, I don't know if it's the system or the mechanism of the industry, but there is this idea that they kind of want to only hear you when you're the least experienced, when in all other genres, we want to hear the growth of an artist. We want to hear the wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
And now that you guys all have that, to hear you talking about making new music is exciting, man. Talk to me about what moving forward looks like for you, for people who are fans of Dannu and fans of the Visionaries. What's looking forward for you look like right now? What's coming?
Well, I mean, to go off what you were saying, and we've all grown up with hip hop from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
We weren't there, but we heard everything that went from the 60s, 70s till now. Musically now, it's for us, it's like the 80s, right? But for the audience now to finally recognize, music as growth, that you can have a rap song that talks about your dad, or talks about like social issues besides the typical what NWA brought out, or what I'm saying, like, I mean, there's always been those groups that influenced us, like Public Enemy, just KRS's. I mean, or Rakim. I mean, there's so many, and I think you're right. I mean, obviously it's industry driven. It's they control what the masses hear, because the masses aren't digging like us, hip hop lovers do. We try to like look for the newest stuff, not just what's force fed. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's beautiful that they're finally like liking songs that, like our Father's Day song or something, from the Visionaries.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only right. I mean, you got other genres of music that their audience can grow up with them. Why can't they grow up with us? Why can't they grow up with hip? And they are, but they're not feeding that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, we already know why, but at the same time, it's up to groups like us. It's up to the old school groups that are still continuing to tour and make music. It's up to us to do our diligence to continue to try to make the best possible music so that it can bang with those trash out there.
Right. I agree.
But, I mean, what's going to come from me right now is me. I mean, I've always talked about San Diego because that's where I was born and raised.
Yes.
And my vibe is, I mean, you guys already know. If you're born and raised here, you already know what our vibe is. We're chill.
Yep.
We're chill, and that's how I try to put. That's what I try to put in my music, and the experiences I've had, and just the ideas that I put into it. If I could sing reggae, I'd probably do reggae, bro, because I love that vibe.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? But I can't really sing like that, so I'm gonna do my best in putting the vibe I can, as far as like, I want people to be like, yo, that's that Dago vibe. That, there's cats that are in San Diego right now that's doing the same thing right now. It's dope.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm the old guy still making music, and I'm gonna continue to do it as long as people like it. So, You know, you're gonna get that that experience from me in my lyrics, but at the same time, you're also gonna get the creativity of my storytelling.
When's
You
the
know, I have a
next
song.
new music coming?
I just released Summer Love.
Yep.
Entirely, it's an EP, forthcoming EP called Seasonal Shorts, all produced by this cat named Paranormal. And so Seasonal Shorts is gonna come out in July. Also,
All
and
right.
don't get it twisted, we're working on visionary stuff too. That's just
Oh
Nice,
shit.
nice.
that's just being worked on. We've been working on that. It's just we're everything in due time. Um, I also have a project with and I'm sorry I didn't send this to you, but it's a dude named Butter. He does a lot. He's a dancer from Long Beach. He does a lot of the funk stuff, and so I'm gonna give you guys a little funk um, with that
Dope.
song.
Hmm.
So yeah, we're gonna wait till this one marinates a little bit, and then we'll probably put that like in August.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and you know, me and Zen are always making writer's block stuff. We're just like, we're there's a lot of stuff on the plate right now, because it's all hands on deck. Key's helping me with the artwork. Zen is helping me with the visuals. I gotta handle all doing all the interviews right now and the shows. Once we start to book everything, and there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, we're gonna start doing new visionary shows too. So
That's
yeah,
exciting, man. That's super
we're
exciting.
just gonna have fun, man.
Well, I could tell you this, bro. Please, please do not let this be the last time you come to Platform Collection. If there is anything we can do to help your movement and help
Yep.
get your message out there, dude, we got your back. You
Appreciate
are an SDOG to me, and you always will be.
Thank you, guys.
Anything we can do to contribute to what you got going on, we're here for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Dannu, man.
Awesome, awesome,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Dude,
Appreciate
tell
you
people how they can support right now, and what you like, anything, whether follow you on Instagram, grab your records. What can they do right now to help support?
Yeah, I mean, right now, the single is out on all platforms, also on Bandcamp, on my website, Dannu619.com. You can also go to the Visionaries website, just type in Visionaries Hip Hop. Yeah, I mean, support not just me, but support everyone that's pushing that good music, especially hip hop. There's a lot of good music out there, and it doesn't matter where they're from, man. Just listen to the music, and push and help. If you're not an artist yourself and you just love the music, then the only thing you can do is support. And I still buy stuff, so
Yeah.
a lot of the guys, man, they're struggling. Some of them don't have like great jobs like I do, and they're struggling. So we need to support, as much as we
Right.
can. So that dollar that's gone to iTunes, they only could get like 10 cents from that.
Right.
Go to the
right.
Bandcamp, they get paid a little more. Go to their shows, buy their stuff directly from them. Yeah, I mean, let's all support like you guys are supporting. You guys are doing your part. I love it. Thank you guys for having me. Hopefully I can come back again.
Anytime, bro.
Anytime.
Anytime. And it was absolute honor to talk to you, brother. Like I said, the door is always open for you. You always have a home at Platform Collection. And we'll talk to you soon,
Thank
bro.
you. All right, man. Peace
Thank
and
you.
love.
Have a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dannu.
Yes.
That's what can we say, dude? He's one of the
Wow.
greats. Dude,
We know how to
Way
pick up.
overdue,
I
right?
said it.
way overdue.
Yes, way overdue, man. Way, way overdue.
I mean,
I'm
I feel
glad
like
I
we
got-
know how to pick them, but I mean, technically,
Hey, what-
Tumex sent us this one.
Yes.
So we also know how to receive them too. So
We can
you know what I mean? Like you could pick them for us, but
and put them with the right, because we have our other guest, Arm the Poet, is San Diego. Even North
yeah, dude,
County.
today
so
was
it
a
like-
San Diego show, which
Yeah.
was inadvertent, right? We weren't planning on
No,
doing
yeah.
a San Diego show, and we got Dannu booked, and it kind of became a San Diego show
Mhm.
for a new young artist like Arm the Poet, and an OG.
What a great.
I mean, a
thing, you
San
know?
Diego OG, bro.
Mhm.
And I mentioned it a little bit talking to him that I feel like he doesn't technically get his credit and his
Right.
due down here because he's such a part of this huge LA conglomerate.
Mhm.
But the reality is Dannu has never not represented San Diego. He goes
Right.
by Dannu619 on Instagram.
I know.
So trust me, he's never hidden it.
No.
And I would love to see San Diego give the love to Dannu that he
Please.
deserves. So please do that. Even if you tuned in for RM the Poet, follow Dannu.
Send him a DM.
Yeah, send him a DM. Let him know that Chris Sees the Internet sent you. And man, I hope to have him on again. We're going to be following. We're locked in now.
Yes, we're in.
We're locked in. I'm all in with Dannu. So we're going to be following his career, bringing highlights of his career to you. So guys, give it up for Dannu 619.
Yes, thank you, man. You did great.
If this is your first time tuning in, guys, please understand we are not the only show on Platform Collection. There are a bunch of other shows on Platform Collection. Beat Block TV, if you're a producer or you love producer-centric music, you got to watch Beat Block TV, hosted by none other than the great Gene Flo, our in-house producer, my partner in the Invisible Ponchos. He has a dope show where he plays nothing but up-and-coming and well-known producers' music. And he's created a really dope producer community. I was in the chat room this last Monday with them. And I mean, it's such a dope thing that they've created over there. Hip Hop Eddie produces that show. And you can see in the chat room how people are helping each other. They're sending each other beat packs. They're already making music together. They're sampling Gene Flo and sending him beats of his own beats. It's just amazing.
What a great community over there.
Really great community. And then we also just completed the first season of The Heartful Truth.
Yes. Congratulations, ladies.
Hosted by Melly and 7 Octobers. Just an amazing show where they go really in depth in some very emotional topics that affect artists. And some of your favorite artists have been on there. Noah James, Pause One, to name a few. And they just completed their first season and they're working on their second season, which is going to be even doper. But on that show, just for instance, if you go watch their past episodes, you've seen people cry on their show.
Right.
You've heard people talk about topics that they've never talked about in interviews ever. By the way, the Pause One interview was one of my favorite interviews. I don't know if I'd ever heard Pause be as so upfront and honest and vulnerable about his own upbringing and his relationship with his son. And they tie it all into how it affects the artist's mind and heart. So please follow The Heartful Truth. And then also, if you're into audio podcasts, the Parker Edison Project, amazing audio podcast hosted by none other than Parker Edison himself.
Don't miss out.
Don't miss out, man. He's gonna win some awards for podcasting because the reality is that show is so crazily produced. We really go out of our way to produce that show and give you what we like to think of as like a podcast mixtape. So you're getting these in-depth interviews on topics that you wouldn't necessarily get anywhere else. In fact, you won't get these topics anywhere else. And they've had some amazing artists on there too. Dude, he just interviewed, I'm not even going to give it away, but tune in because he just interviewed a hip hop heavyweight that's going to be coming up on a future episode.
Nice.
One of the greats, let me just say that, one of the greats is coming up on the Parker Edison Project. And he's already had some of the greats. He had Master Ace. He's had Tumex on there. He's had Noah James on there. Dude, he's had Micah 9. Oh, dude, it's been quite a ride with the Parker Edison Project. They're in their second season right now, almost finishing up their second season, but it's not too late. You can go anywhere audio podcasts are found, the Parker Edison Project. And then make sure you tune into the podcast about people hosted by Vita Kills. Just Google that or follow her on Instagram, the podcast about people. Man, another amazing creative speaking to other creatives. And if you guys kind of see the theme of what we do here on Platform Collection, the last thing we want to give you guys is cookie cutter interviews where we ask the same questions, hey, tell us about your new single, or, I just feel like there's enough shows that already do that. And there's a lot of shows that do that very well. That's just not what we do. We really are concentrating on the minds of these artists and the hearts of these artists. We want to know the essence of these artists. And through all these shows that we put out, I think you find that and you see that and you feel that. And Vita Kills is doing that as well on the podcast about people. So please tune into that. Follow Vita Kills, follow Melly, follow 7 Octobers, Gene Flo, Parker Edison, and follow OG Hip Hop Eddie.
Yes.
By the way, if you're trying to get on any of these shows, he's the guy to talk to.
Hit me up.
It's more complicated than just requesting to be on a show, by the way. So there's steps, but nonetheless, if you have questions about that, hit up OG Hip Hop Eddie on Instagram or hiphopeddie@gmail.com. And if you're sending in beats, you can send them directly to that email as well.
Please, yeah.
Man, dope show, dude.
Great.
You booked
picks.
another. You booked another good one. Shout out SD Stand Up.
Great
know what I mean?
representation, for San Diego.
Yeah, dude. Right. From a young artist like Arm the Poet, who's out there on the grind, to a legendary artist like Dannu from the Visionaries. We're trying to cover all bases. So I'll tell you this: if you're a new artist and you can't get something out of these interviews, man, I'd watch them again, because trust me, they are chock full of information. Me and Eddie like to think here on Chris Sees the Internet, we're making a little hip hop college,
right, for everybody.
Yeah, and we got each episode is a volume of, and it's packed with a bunch of information, especially if you're a new independent artist trying to start out or trying to find a foothold in this game. Just listening to these people who are doing that. And we're going to keep continuing to bring you more and more episodes. We're going to be taking a little while off, right? I think we're going to be taking about a month off as we formulate the new version of Chris Sees the Internet. I know we talked about that. You guys have been getting these recorded versions, and we're going to, if we're recording them, we might as well take it up a level. So we're going to be doing some in the field interviews, taking you guys to some live shows. Me and Eddie are also going to go on a food, which is going to be a little more complicated now, but we're going to go on a food quest and bring you some dope eats. So me and Eddie are going to try out some restaurants, and you're going to see it here on the show.
Yes.
And we're also going to be talking to you way more. So if you want to join the conversation,
please,
you can send a DM video to me at KILLcRey on Instagram, or OG Hip Hop Eddie on Instagram, with a question, comment, a suggestion for topics, an opinion on interviews, whatever you got to say. We're going to be playing it because we want that dialogue to happen with you guys. We appreciate you guys so much for supporting the show.
And we can answer any question.
Yes. Like, me and Eddie are putting it out there right now. If you got a problem, me and Eddie can solve it for you. So send it in, challenge us with a question, whether it's dating advice, whether it's parenting advice. Eddie's killing it in that game. Marriage, whatever you want to do, hip hop, producing, podcasting. If you have a question, send it in. We will answer it. This is your opportunity. This is your opportunity. If you're seeing what we do and you're like, oh, I like what they do, how can I do something like that? We'll tell you. But you got to ask the question.
Please.
So please send it in. And if you just want to send a direct video, all you're going to do is grab your phone, hit the record, send the video in, and you can DM it to me or OG Hip Hop Eddie, or just send it to hiphopeddie@gmail.com. Again, hiphopeddie@gmail.com. And we'll get you an answer, and we'll play you on the show.
Yes.
We want you to be on the show. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be here every Sunday. We're dropping an episode every Sunday after this break. We're going to get right back to it. We're already booking this next season, and it's looking good, guys. You're going to love who we got coming up. But what a way to end the season with Dannu.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think that was a great way to do it. It's rare that we have an all San Diego show. We're from San Diego, even though people think we're from LA most of the time because we're up there so often. But we actually live in San Diego, so it was cool to end the season like that.
What a way to do that. Yes.
And then we'll see you guys in about a month. Follow us on Instagram for updates. Follow @PlatformCollection. And turn on your alerts.
Please.
Just turn on your alerts. But by the way, just because we're taking a break from this show doesn't mean you're going to stop seeing us. We got me and Gene Flo got a bunch of music coming up and that's really why we're kind of taking a break. We have to record a record. We have to record an album. And that's what we're going to be doing. OG Hip Hop Eddie is helping produce other shows. And then we have none other than Black Books and Rhyme Books podcast. We'll be launching while we're off. You're going to get the Black Books and Rhyme Books podcast hosted by Beardo. Already amazing. Man, there's been tears on that podcast as well.
That's a great.
They get deep on that podcast. If you know Beardo, he's all heart. And his heart really comes out on that show. So we're super proud to have and welcome Black Books and Rhyme Books podcast. premiering soon. Again, turn on the alerts, follow, subscribe. And like we always say, if you want to support us, please support the artists that we have on the show, and that is good enough. If you want to do that little bit of extra, hit the thumbs up,
Yes.
leave us a comment, and we'll love you for it. But we'll see you guys in about a month. Thank you guys.
We
This has been an
appreciate
amazing
you.
season, and we'll be back soon. That was the internet, and I guess we saw it, Eddie.
Yeah, we'll see you soon with it.